Hey YouTube people, welcome. I'm Darlene and I'm going to be doing a reading for you today from your deceased loved one or ancestor. Yes, I'm showing my face, finally getting over that and had a little time to put on a little lipstick for you today. So let me get my business out of the way first while I shuffle, and I think you can see all of that. Yeah, I'll have to work on my camera setup and all that. It'll have to change, so bear with me. Business, yes. I am giving away a free reading sometime in the first week of December, but for all the new subscribers. So stay tuned to the end and I'll tell you all the details on how you can get that. And thank you all very, very much for those of you that are already subscribed and watch my videos. And for anyone who interacts, hits the like button, makes a comment, all of that is very appreciated. I'm just getting started here on YouTube, so all of it matters. It does help my channel grow, but more importantly, it YouTube says, oh, well, this content is interesting. Let's push it out to a broader audience. So it's more likely to reach the family members that are concerned here, and that means a lot to me. So, and hopefully to them. Thank you so much. Okay, so much for business. Let's get into it. Okay. Oh no, one more thing. When you see me pull the cards, I read these tarot cards a little differently than you might say for a love reading. So don't expect the all times and sometimes traditional readings of the tarot cards. Okay, they speak to me a little differently because of the context of the kind of reading that this is. Okay, now I think we're done with business. Let's get on with it. Okay, I have a gentleman coming through today who I'm going to guess he's probably 65-ish, maybe 75, somewhere in that range. A little bit overweight, but he's saying that happened after, and I'll tell you what after means. So he came through real strongly with the sorry, I'm trying to say this word, y'all, bear with me. Prosthesis. An artificial leg from about the knee down. And because of his age, I naturally thought, well, maybe he was in the war or something. That's very common, well, more common, I should say. And he's saying, no, it wasn't that. It wasn't that. So I had to wait for him to tell me the story a little bit. And I'm not able to separate two things yet. It may become clear. But there was something about a car accident, and then there was something about cancer. So when I first thought, well, he had a car accident and that's what caused his leg. I'm sorry, I'm realizing I'm jiggling the camera. What caused him to lose his leg? But then he's saying, no, not exactly. That wasn't really it. And I think he actually had some kind of a cancer, which is, to me, a bit unusual to have that in the leg. Pardon me. So I'm not real clear on that, but somehow those two are tied together. So, it could be he had some other kind of cancer and was on his way to get treatment for that and had an accident and lost his leg. Could be something like that. Pardon me again. But hopefully the viewer, you will know what these two, how these two are connected, if at all. Could be totally unrelated. Could be he's just giving me facts to identify him. He could have had cancer. He could have also lost his leg. But he wants to come through with a message about this whole leg thing. And he was joking when I said he was a little overweight, and I winked because he was kind of joking about making a joke about himself. He said, yeah, that happened after I lost my leg because I couldn't exercise and I had to sit around on my, and I wasn't able to be as active for a long time. And he said, yeah, and so he's telling me about his process with that, and apparently that's important to the message of who he is. So, as with most major, I'm going to call this an ending of sorts, things that we lose in our life. For example, if we lose a loved one, there's a grieving process that we go through. Even pets or anything like that. He's making me feel very similar. This was a similar process for him in losing his leg. And there are stages that we go through when we lose someone or something that's very important to us. And he's kind of showing me himself going through each of those stages, the woe is me, and I'm not making fun or making light of it at all, but it's just like, why did this have to happen to me stage? And I'm not saying these are in any particular order because I'm not a therapist or psychologist and I don't know that, but I do know this much. So there is that stage, and then there's the angry stage, and there's the maybe the stage where you give up and I don't even want to try anymore, and all these different stages. But he's saying when he finally got to the stage of acceptance, it was a huge, it wasn't just an epiphany or a light bulb. It was like it affected so many other things in his life. It changed him for the better. So he's actually saying, I would not have wished to lose my leg, but it was a blessing in that it helped me become a better person. It helped me change. It helped me see what was really important in life. It helped me understand myself better and have more empathy for other people, because we're all going through something. I don't care who you are. I don't care how much money you have. I don't care how big your house is. I don't care how beautiful you are. You're always somebody. All of us are always going through something. And so he's saying it really helped him to become a more compassionate, and he's using the word peaceful person. He's saying up until that time he wasn't a curmudgeon, but he could be. And he really just didn't really have a motivation to look at the bright side of life maybe, or to always reach for a better, higher thought, or to be happy for no reason. And he's saying this really made a difference in those things for him. He started to really appreciate more, and he started to be grateful more, because could have lost a leg, could have lost his life, could have and so he's just saying that this was a real turning point for him in a good way. And once he could look back and accept that and find peace with that, it was just a blessing for him. It was an absolute blessing. So I don't know if I even need to pull cards, but because I got them, let's do it. So let's see what other messages that this gentleman wants to bring through. And he did have a good sense of humor. Oh yeah, I think he's just backing up. Whoops, sorry about that. I'm not sure if you're going to be see these when I lay them down. So 10 of Pentacles, and they're saying this one too. Yeah, 9 of Wands. I think this is just Spirit backing up my message. But let me pull a few more. Yeah, okay. Let me get a couple more cards, and I like to get flyers, so please be patient. A lesson in temperance. There we go. That one needed to come out. Okay. Yeah, I think this is just reiterating the same message. Yeah, and I think he's showing me, not here, he's showing me, he had, I want to say grandchildren, but I think there was one in particular that he was close to. Now, close might have just been physical proximity. Maybe they lived in the same town. But he showed me a grandson, and he was saying that after this accident, he really got closer with this boy, that he played with him more, enjoyed him more, and it had so much to do with his own patience and his own tolerance for, kids can be messy and loud and this and that, and I think he wasn't very tolerant before about this. But when, he went through this and all his visits in the hospital and all that, it was like, well, all the people that had to be tolerant with me, all the people that had to deal with my mess and whatever, So it just, again, it just changed everything for him, and it made him a better person, he's saying. He's actually saying a better person. And he also had this really lovely sense of humor when he came through, because he was kind of standing on one leg, holding his prosthesis, almost like he was making a joke. Yep, this is me. Got to drag this thing wherever I go, you know. Now, that was in life. But once he found, again, this acceptance, he really started joking about it, making fun of it, being lighthearted about it. And so I think that really helped the family also. And he's saying that was a big part of why he did it. But maybe he just did it because what else you gonna do? You can't change it. You might as well, you know, accept it and just get on. But when they, one second. When we cross over, typically they show us, our souls, when they're in the other side, they're not missing arms and legs. They're healthy. They're in their prime, so to speak. And so he's not really, if you're the loved one, I don't want you to think he's standing over there holding his prime. Well, that's still me over here. No. He's not. He was just showing me that to bring the message to identify who he is. And so I don't want you to hang on to that. I want you to understand that he's happy. In fact, he's with some friends. This is sweet. He's showing me like a group of guys that would, you know how there's some guys, especially as they get older, or these might have been lifelong friends. These might have been people that he was in a club with, or he played golf with, or, you know, I noticed particularly veterans tend to stick together, and they would go and have coffee, you know, once a week or whatever. And he's kind of showing me that little huddle of people on the other side. Now, to me, I'm not necessarily feeling that all of those people are crossed over like he is. But he's just showing me, I got a good group here. You know, I'm happy here. I'm doing my thing and being me, and I'm happy. And he just wants you to know that he's at peace, and he's really, he's saying, I want to get this right. I know now how much I was loved, but I am loving now. Like loving is a verb. I am loving. I am learning how. This was the trigger or pivot point, this accident, let me put those here, for that to happen for me. That started with this incident, teaching me how to be loving. I don't think that was necessarily a natural thing. I don't think for a minute he was an ogre. That's not what I'm getting. But I think that he just, I don't know, he changed. Something in him changed. All right, let me see. Is there anything else? Yeah, and I just wanted to look at the bottom of it. Just, you know, because we're here. Let's look at the bottom of it. Okay, now this feels like a message for you, the viewer here. So this may be for the mom of the little boy, or, you know, if he had children, it could have been an only child. But it's for a younger woman, and I feel like it might be his daughter or someone who, it could have been a neighbor, but someone he felt daughterly with. And let me see, tune in here. Oh, how sweet. He's actually saying you were one of the people that taught him earlier how to love. You were an example for him. He wants you to know that. He was saying he watched you. He really didn't tell you that, and he didn't talk about it. He didn't make a thing about it. You know, he didn't let you know that, probably, and that's probably why he's coming through now to give you this message. But he's saying you inspired me. You taught me even before his accident. All right, let me see what else. Oh, that is so sweet. He saw you. He saw you building I'm trying to say this, put this into words. He saw you building the foundation in your life, but it was that people were drawn to you more than you went out and got them, so to speak, or that they were just relatives or whatever. He saw how you interacted with people, and they became, that you were a touchstone for many people, but that you were like a foundation. But more than that, it was, they were drawn to you. That's a good way to say it. They were drawn to you. And he's saying he kind of would sit back sometimes and wonder about that and not understand it. But then again, when his heart started to open because of this accident or excuse me, this amputation that he experienced, then that became, he started to connect the dots. He's recognizing that you've gone through something recently. You've gone through something that was difficult that you have been through. And also, there's a dual message here with this. I know you can't see these cards. I'm sorry. But again, I don't read them always like traditional meanings. So I was looking at the Five of Cups, and it was telling me about you're going through something you're remorseful about. But you're finding balance again. But there's also a double meaning with this. For me, he's saying he saw when he got on the other side, he saw that you actually grieved him. And again, I'm getting this, but you might not have been related to him. Maybe you were the next door neighbor. I don't know. But in some way, he was surprised that, and of course, you could have been a daughter that was estranged or something. But he's showing me that he was surprised at your grieving for him, or that you cared enough to grieve, or something like that. Yeah, Eight of Swords too. Oh, he's showing me, hang on. He did something to hurt your feelings back when, obviously, he was alive. It was, I think this was before his accident, or whatever this was. I'm sorry, calling it an accident, whatever this, before his amputation. Seems like it was before that. He did something to you that really hurt you. Got you up in your head, got you, and then in turn, it's like, you know, that boomerang thing, in turn, it came back. And I think he realized what he had done. I think he realized, I probably shouldn't have done that, but I'm not sure he ever told you that. I think he realized that he had, in other words, he had an epiphany that he messed up. Let's just say it that way. But I'm not sure that he ever communicated that to you. And so he is now. He is now. He also is telling me you have a new beginning. Yeah, okay. 1 second. See, sometimes these cards, if you're new here, tell me more about the story of the person who's crossed over. And sometimes they are for the viewer. And sometimes it's a dual message. So I have to sort through this a little bit, so bear with me. Because I want to give you an accurate message. Okay, so he's giving me a little bit more that this, so everything I said, yes. And then also, I think you maybe, part of this remorse, you may have experienced a recent heartache, like romantic heartache. And then now, but you're moving on from it. And so he's telling the story as if he's watching you. He's looking in on you, and he's acknowledging what you're going through. This is their way, his way, their way, of saying, I see you. I'm still here. I'm not in the physical, but I am still here, and I'm watching you, and I see what's going on, and I'm loving you. You know, maybe not my physical body, but I'm still there and surrounding you. He says that you're working on whatever this situation was, working on getting better. Okay. Boy, lots of side messages today. Lots of side messages. All right, let me show you these. Yeah, it just keeps going. I love it, Tara. I love Tara. Okay, let me show you these. So, if I can get them all. So he's telling me there's communication. Now this could be certainly a new romance coming in for you. Oh God, because right under that, what's feeling that is the Ten of Cups. Okay, but that's not the message, primary message he wants to convey here. So let me see, can you see those? Right. So he's saying, because right as I was saying, he's watching you, these cards came out. He's saying, if you will listen, in other words, this is the card of communication. You can hear him. He is communicating to you. Just not how we do it in the 3D, but he is. And so you just have to look beyond the surface. You just have to look for symbols of things that may have been something common between you two. In the more common ones from the spirit world are feathers and birds, and they leave pennies and they flicker lights and things like that. So if you've experienced any of those, okay, he's saying there was something with flickering lights. So you might remember that. He's saying that was me. That was me. But he's saying if you will try to, first of all, believe that this is happening, that you can maybe hear him. You can actually hear this, and that you can have, the Ace of Wands is a traditional card of like a new passionate beginning. Okay, so I think this is two messages. One about you're having a new beginning in your life soon, very soon. But it's also okay. I get it. Thank you. He's saying, let me put these down. Six of Cups and the Ace of Wands. So this is nostalgia, typically looking back. It can be a lot of things, but in this case, the meaning for me he's giving me is him, you remembering him connecting or communicating with you, okay, in a sweet, familial kind of way. And he's saying that, this is also going to be a bit of an epiphany for you, that I don't think that you're particularly a spiritual person, so you're probably not someone who would even look at a video like this, or that you believe in that. Maybe you're just a healthy skeptic, which is fine. You should be, actually. I respect that. So he's just saying, but you might be surprised, and you might actually hear me, and then voila, the light bulb goes on for you. And so I think he's trying to give you a little nudge, and it's bigger than just him and you. There's something else. He's trying to cause an awakening in you, or at least point you in the right direction for some kind of a spiritual awakening that he sees coming for you. Wow, I didn't mean for this reading to be so long, but here we are. Okay, that's that. So I hope this was helpful for whose person this was. And as I put these cards back, let me tell you how you can get a free reading. So I will be giving away free reading to new subscribers. So between now and the end of the month, if you subscribe, I'd like you to go subscribe first, go in and make a comment on any video, really. I see them all, so make a comment and say, I'd like a free reading. Now, bear in mind, I'm going to, back up. I'm going to put the names in a bowl and just draw a name, but it will be your YouTube name. I will make a separate video to announce the winner the first week of December. And when I announce it, for example, if your YouTube name is Hello Kitty, and I announce Hello Kitty, if your name is John Doe, then I won't know that. So you will, and I will give you instructions when I post that video about how to contact me and so forth and so forth. So that's that. All you have to do is, subscribe and put a comment in one of the videos, I'd like a free reading. So that's it. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. If you like this kind of content, please hit that like button. Subscribe if that feels like a good fit for you. And I'll see you again soon. Thank you so much for watching. Many blessings. Bye-bye.